Wow. Cool. All right. I'm going to do the intro. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening for the 2022 She Is Hope LA She Is Development Program class with the beautiful and amazing and talented Dr. Raykel Tolson. She was introduced to me by a mutual friend, and she's been a regular speaker for us since. And she always has a phenomenal presentation. And tonight, she's a money mindset coach and many other things. I'm going to let her go ahead and expand on that. But her tonight's class is called Mind on My Money. And then we all want to start singing the song. So I'm like, we should have put that in the background. Got
Yes,
my
I
mind on
was
my
thinking
money and my money on my mind.
exactly. So only if you're like you have to be like the 80s, 90s, right, to understand. I got my mind on my money and my
That's
money
me.
on my mind.
I'm all over all that. My poor kids, that's all I have to say. But we have fun. But
Yes,
please, I'm going to go
yes.
ahead and let you take it away and tell everyone about everything, all the amazing things that you do, besides being an incredible mom, too.
Oh, well, first, let me just say I'm so happy to be here. I hope that what I have to share will not just enlighten you, but will be something that you can, use to help others, because that's what it's really all about. And when I say mind on my money, I actually started this whole journey after I wrote a book called Why Are Church Folk Poor? A lot of people are like, gasping their pearls. I'm a church folk. Why are you talking about me? Well, you know what? I'm a church folk too. My grandfather was a Church of God in Christ pastor, so I am church folk. But I started that journey, this whole journey of my business because of that book, and that's what kind of how I'm gonna kind of start. So I'm gonna share my screen, and all right. Everybody sees this.
Yes, we do.
Everybody good? You can see it?
Yeah, it's great.
All right. I think so. Like she's, I'm Dr. Raykel Tolson. Let me tell you real quick though how I became a doctor, because I do not have a PhD. I do not have an MD. I have a JD. I have a law degree. So I always thought, I've never seen anybody put doctor in front of that, but I taught one semester at a college, and I was able to get the job because I had some JD, because it's a terminal degree. And they said everybody, the students have to call you doctor. And so I was like, ooh, I like doctor. So I was like, yeah, why shouldn't I be doctor? It's a doctorate degree, right? So there we go. But you can call me Raykel. I'm not one of those people that you have to call me doctor. Okay, so this is my money mindset story. This is my child. Of course, he is 28 now, but this is how he looked when we lived in Orlando, when we decided to move to Los Angeles, because this little joker, he's a cute self. He just so cute. He was like, I want to be on TV and in the movies. And he said that he was an actor in Orlando. He actually was the runner up to get the role of Little Ray in the Ray movie with Jamie Foxx. They flew him up to North Carolina and everything, but they chose the other boy and not him. So he was, he was a sought after really even then, but he wanted to move out to LA when he saw me in as an extra in a movie when I spent some time with my dad out here in LA, and I was a featured extra, and he was like, wait a minute, I'm the actor, so I need to move to LA so I can see me. And I quit my job, packed up, and we left. We Beverly Hills, nope, not Beverly Hills. Not Beverly Hills. When we moved to LA, now the house that we left was like a $250,000 home on 2.5 acres. Huge house, right? We had all these plans because we had this acreage. We was gonna do all this stuff. Moving to LA, I couldn't buy no house for $250,000. Even back in 2011, it was not possible. Not even a condo, like nothing. So I said, oh my gosh, I'll never own a house in California, in LA. Y'all hear me? I said, I'll never own a house in LA. And I was like, I guess I just have to get used to apartment living. That was my mindset. That was my money mindset because looking at the prices, and they aren't even half as bad as they are now, but they were still bad. And I just took myself out the game. Okay. So fast forward 10 years. Do you hear me? 10 years. So if you are a realtor on this call and on this, on this Zoom, and you have some people who they say they want it, y'all just keep following up because it may take them 10 years to get their money mindset right. Now, unless you send them to me and I can get them quicker than 10 years, I promise. But it took 10 years for me to decide, I think I want to buy a house. Of course, I say God put in my spirit, go buy you a house. Like hit me upside, you want to live in a house. So I did the whole pre thing to see how much money I was gonna get. They said 500,000. I was like, okay, that sounds okay. That would have been a condo. That wasn't really the houses I was looking at because I wanted the 4-bedroom, nice house. Oh my gosh. So I was told my landlord at the time what I wanted to do, and she said, "Oh, good. I'm a realtor. I can help you." I was like, "Okay." She said, "So what are you looking?" And then I told her 4-bedroom. She said, "Stop." I was like, "What's the problem?" She said, "Why you need a 4-bedroom? It's you and your son. Why you need 4 bedrooms?" I was like, "Oh, well, I need a guest room." She said, "Why you buying a house for the guest room for people you do not want to stay over a weekend? That's why they go on the couch so they'll leave." I, okay. So she said, you have to get a duplex or more. She was like, you cannot get out. This is the opportune time for you to get a duplex or more. Do not get. And so I had to change my mindset about that because, let's being honest, I wanted a big house like I had, right? So we found me a duplex. I'm going to fast forward some more. They it wasn't 500,000. It was 625. And so I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to get this house." She said, "Raykel, don't you believe in God?" Yeah. Didn't he say you can have the desires of your heart? Is there anything too hard for God? She just started quoting all these scriptures that I already knew. And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, yes." So she like gave me a jolt. And it literally changed my mindset. Like, I can have this house that I want. And I just want to show you my transformation. I can never buy a house in Los Angeles. The houses cost too much. I don't make enough money. My credit score is too low. Wait, for the realtors on here, y'all heard these things, right? Y'all. Some of y'all may even said them, but y'all heard these things. And then I need a big house like I had in Florida. Y'all know the people that come from out of town, like, I want this big house, and not in LA is not the same, right? But then, so my money mindset transformation was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, I don't know if you guys know the Bible, or if you all are spiritual or Christians or anything like that, but you don't have to be. The Bible is a great book to learn from. And so I'm not coming as a spiritual person or a Christian. I'm coming just money mindset. And the Bible is what, let me just say this, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but the Jewish community, they do money. They have a money mindset. You know where they got it from? The Bible. Okay, so I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. With God, all things are possible. God will give me the desires of my heart. I'm going to have faith in God, ask, and it is given. Now, if anybody knows anything about the law of attraction, that's a big one right there, because they have Esther Hicks actually has a whole book, Ask and It Is Given, right? And I actually talk about the law of attraction in my book. So it's really not this like Christian book that people think. It has a lot to do with the law of attraction, but it has a lot to do with just transforming my mindset. And then the last thing, I had to stop letting my ego drive my decisions. I don't know if anybody here has that problem, but ego messes up our mindset a lot because I was like, I need a big house. I need the 4-bedroom house. Because all my friends back in Florida and over in Atlanta, y'all know y'all got people in Atlanta with these big old mini mansions, or down in Texas. And you like, but I live in this little bitty. But I had to let my ego get out of it, because my house is probably, even when I first got it, was worth more than theirs, even though they were bigger. But so I had to change my mindset about that, and how it was more important that I had an income coming from my house, not just me paying a mortgage, but I had help paying my mortgage. And that's why I was able to get the house, because it was already renters there. And changing my mindset, this is what I got. This is the front house. This is the house that we were in. And I just thought it was just the cutest house with the little white picket fence. That's just everybody's goal, right? The American dream. But it's not the big 4-bedroom house that I wanted, but it was so much better, because now with my 28-year-old son, who is a teacher in LA, he doesn't have to do like most of his teacher friends and move all the way out of LA and drive back and forth just, to live. He can live in the community where he teaches. He can do that. And he lives in that house, he and his fiance, and I live in a small house now. So I even went smaller, y'all. And I had to, even the ego, to get in this 740 square foot house. But you know what helped me too? I used to watch tiny homes, because those houses were smaller than this one. So I was like, well, I got a big home compared to them. But that was like the result of my whole money mindset. And that's why when I talk about, getting your mind on your money, it really starts with your mindset. And some people like me, when we were in church, we learned this: the love of money is the root of all evil. But a lot of people say money is the root of all evil. And then there's like this scripture that says it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. And if you grew up in church like me, heaven is a go. I'm not, it's like, oh, I got to do everything I can so I can get in heaven. And if that means not stacking money and being rich, okay. But that's subconsciously, because consciously we all want to have money. We all want to be comfortable. Well, some people don't want to be rich. So when you think about the lottery, oh, I don't need that much. Who needs that much money? Has anybody said that before? Nobody needs that much money. We or we say more money, more problems. We say these kind of things. That's a really negative money mindset. And if that's in your head, then that's why you spend money when you get it. You quick to get rid of it. You think, oh, I deserve to buy this, and I deserve. No, you're getting rid of it because you don't want to be rich, possibly. Just something to think about, right? And it may be nobody on this Zoom, but it could be somebody who is always getting rid of money. An older person I know, she used to give so much money at the church. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't give money to the church, but I can say this with a lot of conviction. You should not give and just give and just give and just give to the detriment of you and your family. And that's to the church, to the people around you, to your family. You should not, to outside, you should not do that to the detriment of your family. We are supposed to give from our overflow, and that's for everybody, even the church. So the overflow is after you have filled your cup, you give from the overflow. And I just want to say this too, even though it has nothing about money, but we have to remember to do that with our time. We give from our overflow. We don't take from our time to give other people time. We give from our overflow. Think about that though, because we were talking earlier, our self-care is that time that's in the cup. That's not from the overflow. We usually take care of ourselves from the overflow. We sip from from the juice that's in the saucer, as opposed to letting the other people do that. That even our jobs, if my cup isn't filled, I might not need to go to work because I need to make sure my cup is filled because I have nothing to give to those people. And then I'm angry. Y'all been to places and the people just angry, act like they don't want to be there. They probably should have stayed at home so they could have filled their cups, so they could give us, so they can be nice to us. Because they are giving out of their cups, and it's making them mean and nasty. So I just had to throw that in because it's all mindset though. Everything is mindset. But so this is the book that I wrote. It is available on Amazon, but I so in the book I talk about my story, but I also talk about different things that to elevate your thoughts and different ways to exercise your faith, right? But I realized I didn't give any practical money advice in that book. So I have this one for free because I'm like, you gotta know the practical stuff to when you got your mind on your money. And so I hope you can go to my website, raykeltolson.com, and download this. It's free. Just sign up and you'll get that for free. But there are 3 things that I suggest to everybody, and that's to plan your money, plan wisely, and then be intent about it, right? So actually, it's plan intently, pocket wisely, and protect your money. All right, so I'm just going to talk about those real quick. Planning is about budgeting, that nasty B word. Everybody hates that B word. Budget. It's like diet. Those are the 2 worst words in the English language, diet and budget. It could just be me. So I'm going to say, in my opinion, those are the 2 worst words in the English language, diet and budget. So I like to say being intentional with your money as opposed to just spending, spending, spending and not knowing where your money went to. Being intentional is like, I'm going to spend my money here. I'm going to spend my money here. And you are actually using your money the way you want to use it. Because at the end of the month, when you look and see that you spent $100 and probably more than that at Starbucks, I know I'm talking to me. I know nobody else is like that. I once had, at the end of the year, I spent like over $1,000 in scratch off tickets. I was like, what in the Sam Hill am I doing? I think it's because I was watching Lottery Dream Home and I was trying to win some money so David can come and find me out. I don't know, but it was like crazy. And then I started looking at the stuff, Starbucks, going out to eat and all that stuff. I was like, ooh, I have to be more intentional, budget my money. And then you know what? I tell everybody, do not say I'm not gonna go to Starbucks. Do not say I'm not gonna buy anything from Amazon. I'm talking to me again. Don't say that, because if you say that, it's just like when you diet and say I'm not gonna eat bread unless you real disciplined. As soon as I say I'm not gonna eat bread, I want bread. I don't even like bread. I do not have bread in my house. But as soon as I say I'm not gonna eat bread, I want bread. So make sure that you budget and plan your money intentionally. And then you're gonna make sure you in that it's about saving. And so you have to get in the habit of saving your money. And I know people are like, I don't have no money to save. I get it. I say the same. I said all these things because I didn't tell y'all when I was trying to get the house, I had no money in the bank. I had a job, but I didn't have no savings. So in that 6 months, I had to save. I had to come up with $30,000 in 6 months with no money saved. So back to my ego, I had to ask for help. So I asked for 15,000. I was like, if I come up with 15,000, I need somebody to match me. So I found 3 people that would match $5,000 but that means I had to come up with 15,000, which is still not an easy task, in 6 months. Actually, it was less than 6 months. But I did it because I saved. Okay. And if you can't, if you really believe that you don't have the money to save, then this is the find the money funnel. Find the money funnel in your subscriptions. We do not need Netflix, Hulu, Disney, HBO. I mean, it's so many. I mean, everybody got one. You know, Hallmark even like come on, Hallmark, y'all, come on, everybody. So what we do, we family. So my nephew paying for Disney, and you know, we got one. We can't. Me and my son can't watch it at the same time, but everything is on thing. So I'm like, y'all gonna watch Disney tonight? Cool. I'm gonna watch that. You gotta share. You do not need all the subscriptions. You do not need to listen to all the music. You don't have to. If you're not in your car a lot, you do not need series. That's what I had to tell myself. I was like, you don't even drive. I have 8,000 miles on my car, and I've had my car for 2.5 years. Well, two and some change. 8,000 miles. Why do I have series radio? I'm not in the car, right? So dining out, shopping. You have money. You just have to reallocate how you're doing it. And you guys know when, well, not right now, but you know, we always tell people like to refinance their house so they can get the money and move it around. Well, you just have to refinance your finances. If you have the, you know, high credit card, get the low credit card, you know, when they tell you, oh, you can use this so you can pull that over there because interest rates are going high. So a lot of people need to refinance their finances. So that's planning. Then we're going to get into pocket. So pocket wisely, you got, do not have a whole lot of money in the bank because the banks are giving you less than 1% interest. They charging us 28% on borrowing money from them, but they giving us less than 1%. So banks are strictly really should just be for your checking account, the stuff that you're using that's, you know, going in, going out, going in and out. And maybe like your small savings you might put in a money market, but and even in the money market, you're not getting nothing either. So, I mean, now it's like you can put your money under the bank, under your mattress, you because the bank's not giving you anything. Now, the stock market is another place you can pocket your money. But I don't know. I have Robinhood, and I bought some stocks, especially during the COVID because everything was low. So I was buying up stock that I use. Like I always drive Ford, so I got Ford. I only fly Delta because my son works for Delta and I fly free. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some Delta stock. I was able to get all that stuff every day. It's down. It's up. It's down. It's up. I was just like, oh my goodness, that is like crazy. So I have that picture of the ladies on or the people on the roller coaster, and you had this one lady, she's almost in tears because of the roller coaster. The other lady is like shocked, like, oh my God. And then the man in the back, like, yeah, let's do it. So you have to know your style. If you are not okay with the roller coaster of the stock market, stocks may not be where you want to put the bulk of your money. You know, play with some of it, get some things, you know, get some crypto, get into all of that little stuff. But you might not want to put the bulk of your money in something that you can actually lose it. And I know you guys had a nice, beautiful talk at Wine, Women, and Wealth. And I know she talked about this stuff. So you guys already know. And then you can't talk about pocketing without taxes. Y'all know, right? You can't do it without taxes. And the only way to have money not taxed is in a life insurance, a municipal bond, or a Roth IRA. Those three things should be in your portfolio. And yes, life insurance should be in your portfolio. And people say it's not an investment. Yes, it is. Because your money grows without you having to pay taxes on it. And when you take it out, you don't pay taxes on it. Taxes are a lot. Y'all know because we live in California. We pay federal tax and we pay state tax. So we have to have tax breaks. And I always tell people also, if you don't have a business, something ain't right because that's another way business owners get a lot more tax breaks. There are too many MLMs out here for you not to have a business. You can have a business and then that will help you to reduce your tax. So pocketing wisely, very important when you have your mind on your money. And then the last thing, we have to elevate our thoughts about life insurance. And like I said, I'm sure you guys know about this because if you went to Wine, Women, and Wealth, because we talk about this in Five Rings Financial, because I too am a part of Five Rings Financial. But when you get sick, can you survive financially what you physically survive? My son got burnt. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. He got burnt. His not crock pot, but pressure cooker exploded. Hot water, hot grease, the food like just burned him. He was in a hospital in the burn unit for a week. His bill was $100,000. Thank God for LA Unified, excellent health insurance, right? So he didn't have to pay anything. But how many people don't have excellent health? I don't have excellent health insurance like that. I would definitely have to pay. Our senior citizens, they, even with the Medicare and all this stuff, they have to pay 20%. So let's just use the 20%. If you had to pay $20,000 for a hospital bill, could you? Now, what if you can't, stage 2 cancer, not stage 4 where you know it's terminal. I'm talking about stage 2 where you get to fight it and you just like, you ready to box it and all that stuff. It's probably about that much money too, if not more. And then the insurance companies don't pay for the real good stuff, the nutritionists, the people that's doing the stuff that's not giving you medicine, but just helping you do it naturally. Insurance not going to pay for that stuff. But when you fighting cancer, you want to use all of that stuff. But can you survive financially what you physically survive? If you don't have a living benefits policy that will allow you to accelerate your death benefit, I'm pretty sure that you will not be able to financially survive having something like that. And then let's look at the baby that's in the hospital there. If your child, God forbid, just got sick for, so many kids are getting, actually September is National Children's Cancer Awareness Month also. And it's National Life Insurance Awareness Month. But if your child got cancer, all the children don't get to go to the hospital that Danny Kate built and get everything for free. Some people have to pay it for themselves. That's a lot of money. Not to mention, you're not going to work. If your child is in the hospital, you are not going, and if you do go to work, you're not going to work full time. And if you are, you're going to be just heartbroken. You're going to be depressed. It's gonna bother you. So with getting your child a living benefits policy makes a lot of financial sense. I think everybody should definitely have a living benefits life insurance policy, but especially somebody with their mind on their money, you always have to think, how can I keep from losing my money? Sickness is a way to lose your money. So if your mind is on your money, you got to protect your money. That's very, very important. So with that, I really am done, and I hope that there are some questions for me. This is my website. This is my Calendly links if you want a living benefits consult, or if you need a money mindset consult. These are my links. I'm going to stop my share so I can, okay. So if you guys want to come off and show your beautiful faces, or if you have questions, I would love to answer any questions that you might have. I was trying to look in the okay, I don't see any.
You want to go ahead and put your website? I can email it to them too, but I was going to say, you want to
Okay.
put your website into the chat so that they can get the book and everything else, like the download.
Okay. That's the website to get the Mind on My Money. No questions. Okay, I hope that that was like something that like resonated with you. And like I said, it may not be for you. It could be for the person that you know. For the real estate professionals, you know, talking about living benefits is really a great way because, you know, mortgage insurance is basically just a life insurance. So
Mm.
why would you have them like when you have someone as opposed to them just getting a regular basically mortgage insurance, life insurance policy that just covers if one of them dies. Why not suggest that they get one that has a living benefit so if one of them gets sick, they can pay their mortgage, but they can pay it off if they, you know, if because with the living benefits policy, you can get up to 90%. So like my son had a $500,000 policy. He actually did not have he didn't have third degree burns. He has second degree burns. If he had third degree burns, he would have been able to accelerate his policy. And they probably would have given him, let's just say if they would have given him 50% of that. 50% of $500,000 is a lot of money. I would have been like, no, don't do that. But if he would have had third degree burns, if his second degree burns was 100,000, his third degree burns may have been that much, and he would have been able to use that money, and because he wasn't working for a little while, you know, just to pay bills. But it's something. One of the other things I wanted to say, if for your regular life insurance policies, most of them have a terminal illness rider. So if the doctor tells you you only have 12 months to live, most life insurance policies have a terminal illness rider. They may only give you 50%, but you might want to check to see what kind of acceleration you can do on the life insurance policies that you have currently. My aunt got a terminal disease. She had $100,000 policy. This is before I knew anything about accelerating policies. All she wanted to do was go to Hawaii, do all this traveling, and her husband was like, "You are not gonna stick me with any credit card bills when you die." So he was like, "No, you can't go on all these trips." But if we knew that her life insurance, because she could have accelerated her life insurance and she could have did her taking care of her bucket list. So I'm just saying, just check with your insurance policies. If you only have a life insurance policy with your employer, that is not enough. Especially if you're young. I see a lot of young pictures. If you're young and healthy, this is the best time to get a life insurance policy, a permanent life insurance policy, because you're young and healthy and it doesn't cost a lot. So you basically are getting it on sale. It's like getting a clearance. I love clearance shopping. That's my problem. I love when stuff is on sale. If they say 20%, I'm like, yes. But you guys have that. So really take a look at that and see what you have. Part of having your mind on your money is actually knowing what you have. Most people, when I ask them what is your net worth, a lot of people don't even know what that means, let alone know what it is. So having your mind on your money is not just about making money, but it's like knowing what you have. You know, it's like you have to take care of the little before you can get the much. So if you don't know what you have and you're just doing it, you know, you're not setting yourself up to get the wealth that I know you want. Because most of us don't necessarily want a lot of money because of those thoughts, but most of us want freedom. We want the freedom to live like to your background. We want the freedom to be able to live like that if we want. We want the freedom to be able to go up to the mountains in the wintertime and experience that. We want the freedom to be off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We want that freedom, right? So we have to start getting our mind on our money so we can prepare for that freedom. Because it might not be today, but if we start today, we can definitely have it in a few years.
I think awareness is really key. I think that's been kind of one of the common terms that's come up throughout this whole financial series. It's important for people to know where they stand with their credit and like to check and make sure there's nothing lingering that's ruining it, to like know where you stand with that, or if you have a 401k with work, how's that doing right now? You know, everything's a little up in the air. Do you need to adjust anything? You know, maybe have somebody else take a peek at it. It's just good information's power, you know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah.
really great to know what is your net worth. I mean, it's hard for
Yeah.
us to really think about it, right? But it's a valid point. So thank you for your presentation. It was great info. And you're lovely. It's nice to see you again, and appreciate your time and jumping on. And ladies, thank you for joining us tonight. And
Thank
if
you
any
so
of you
much.
have, yeah, if any of you have any questions or need any other info, just follow up with me. This is recorded and we'll be putting it onto the YouTube thing, and I'm going to send it to a few people that are asking for this. So thank you so
Okay.
much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye bye.